Love podcasts, hate nonsense. It's the PoliticsJOE podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, straight in. Look at that for timing. Look at that for timing. Not even, I mean, we could have waited for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you would have been here.
No, perfectly timed. How are we?
Great. How are you?
It's been a mixed day for me,
Yeah?
personally. I've really hurt a muscle in my neck.
Oh, no.
But I did get tickets to see Mole Rat.
Oh.
So
He loves
I
Mole
love Mole Rat.
Always in your Spotify top 5.
Always in my Spotify top 5. Would recommend. Invest now before she goes stratospheric.
Oh, you long on Mole stock.
I'm long on Mole Rat. I was early on Chapel Roan, and look what happened there. So
I love it.
exquisite taste.
Yeah, you do have good taste.
Thank you. So do you. So do you, Ava.
We all have great taste.
Right.
Yeah. We're cool, fashionable young people working in the media in London town.
Ava's like, why are we being nice to each other? I don't understand.
I'm
Yeah,
like
this
waiting for
podcast.
the next line. It's
Yeah.
just like the...
That's like the setup jab for the right hand that comes in.
Yeah.
It's a PMQs day.
You're not going to ask me how I am.
Ava, how are you?
Great. Did your ex last night slide into your WhatsApp to try and get back together off of the back of Elon's Nazi salute?
No.
Did it work?
I did not see that coming.
No, it would be strange if that happened to me. Yeah, it would be like an ex from decades ago. So that would be weird. I mean, it's weird regardless.
Same.
Yep. Ed?
None of my exes did. They've not done that. In fairness, they didn't make a really...
They're all blocked.
They're all blocked. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're not speaking terms. That's not true. Shout out to them. I'm sure your new boyfriend
Shout out to my ex. Yeah, yeah.
That's so funny, isn't it?
What?
That, yeah.
What boyfriends love this podcast?
They
That
do. It's
your
very-
ex-girlfriend's boyfriends probably do listen to this
I think
podcast.
that probably
That's
is
really
true.
funny.
Yeah.
There was this really funny TikTok I saw a couple of weeks ago of this influencer that was like, brings her a lot of joy, imagining that like when her exes are inside other women, those women probably follow her.
Holy shit.
She's like, for the rest of your life, the minute that you dick down a woman, you'll have to think, does she follow my ex?
There was a really good moment during the brief TikTok ban in America where this like I think it's this Kiwi guy said, "Oh, oh, unreal! The Americans are banned. We can just take those creators' stuff. I'm going to be the two big booms guy." Then he started going, like, "This is my thing now. We bring the boom," as if you can just steal them, which is great.
I want to be that girl Michaela who lied about using a certain mascara. Do you know about that drama?
No.
Can't say I was across that one.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about it.
You know, that's because you're a misogynist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
So basically, she said that this mascara she was paid to use was the best thing ever, but everyone could identify she was wearing fake eyelashes.
That feels quite route one. Did she think her audience would fall for that?
Well, she made a lot of money out of it. So
Is that not against advertising trading standards?
that is what people were arguing.
Well,
Yeah.
good riddance. Is she back? Oh, she'll be back now, though.
She's back.
Yeah. That's a shame.
That is bad.
I feel fake eyelashes are quite obvious, no? Versus a mascaraed eye.
There are
Well, they're subtle ones.
there's been some real advancements in eyelash technology.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, a few of my friends now get them like put in, and they actually do look
Semi-permanently.
quite nice. Yeah.
Rather than a sort of temporary one.
But for me, I don't have the patience because it takes like 3 hours to have it done.
Well,
The idea of having your eyes shut for 3 hours, that's, yeah. Don't even do that at night.
This is how you have a sleep.
I do the Thatcher sleep, yeah.
One eye
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. Sleep like Thatcher, just half an hour bursts. Then I shut all the minds.
That's the first thing you do. Half an hour.
who was it?
minds,
Was it?
half an hour
Was it
milk?
Macmillan or Wilson who was like, if you can't fall asleep within 10 seconds, you're not tired.
I don't know.
So he basically would only, he would like, you know, I might try and get 40 winks, guys.
I
No,
said,
okay, we carry on.
We carry on with this cabinet meeting. Actually,
is that as in Harold?
Yeah. No, it's certainly a prime minister.
they must have died early there.
I was literally about to look up how old was he when he died.
But then also, like men of that generation weren't looking after themselves.
Okay, so
What's the quote?
He was 79 when he died.
Oh, that's a good knock.
Good
No,
innings.
come on. I reckon you could have made that to 85 if you'd like given yourself a little bit of. It's sort of like how I never turn my Mac off.
and so it runs at like a creaking pace.
Yeah.
No, it was one of them. I can't remember which one it was. It was Wilson or Miller. But anyway, are you tired if it takes you longer than 10 seconds to fall asleep?
I don't know.
Life's great questions answered on this podcast.
Mine is more. I'm not a good sleeper at all. So mine is like if I like reach like actual insanity, that's when I think it's time to go to bed.
Have I told you about my men's mental health and my sleep at the moment? This is a safe space, Ollie. Why are you laughing at my men's mental health?
Ed, if you look at my previous record, you know that I don't care about men's mental health.
Ava texts me every night saying, kill yourself.
No, it's just I don't know if we've recently discussed my men's mental health. It's a funny sentence. That's why I was laughing. I would never cheapen your men's mental health.
Thank you.
Tell us about your men's mental health.
My men's mental health. See, for almost a year now, I've been having intrusive thoughts before I fall asleep. And for a split second, I'm convinced I'm going to die. And it's real, like, intense panic.
Oh, no.
Well, they say like death is like going to sleep.
Well, that's
For
going
the
to make it
last
worse. That's not going to relax me. So maybe I'm right.
Maybe you're right, Ed. Maybe you are about to die.
Maybe you should go to the doctor.
Believe it or not, I've done that. And do you know what they said? It's actually really funny. I was referred to like a therapist, and the therapist said, "Beyond my pay grade, this."
No.
You're too fucked up. I can't handle this.
You're too insane. You're too crazy for this.
Since we're talking about my exes, I had an ex-boyfriend who said that his therapist actually really enjoyed their sessions, and I think about that all the time. That is so funny.
It's like saying a stripper enjoys your company.
It's exactly like saying that.
The stripper really likes me and all the money I was paying her.
I get lots of intrusive thoughts, but it's not like that.
What's your best?
Well, it's like, I could push that person in front of that train.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do get.
You don't,
intrusive thoughts.
obviously. It's like, I could throw my iPhone into the Thames, but you don't.
Yeah.
Opening the car door on the motorway.
Or you see someone and you just think like the worst possible like insult you could ever like give them, and it immediately shoots through your head, and you're like, why would I say that? Yeah.
I say it, and that's why I get into.
But that's why you're funny.
Trouble. I mean, look, here we are on this podcast, and I've just outed all of my private life. we haven't even done the first clip.
Is there anything else?
I don't know, listeners. If you go on the Reddit, submit like some personal questions you'd like to ask me.
The most horrifically personal thing. Yeah.
And who knows? I might answer them.
Or we might answer on Ava's behalf.
Should we do PMQs?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
Should we roll a clip?
Yeah.
Roll the clip.
The Prime Minister's Schools Bill, which is being voted on in committee this week, reverses the improvements that made this happen. This bill is an act of vandalism. It is wrecking a cross-party consensus that lasted for decades. Why does the Prime Minister think that so many school leaders are criticising this bill?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it was Labour that introduced academies in the first place to drive up standards. Academies are here to stay and will continue to drive up standards. That's what the bill is about. But also in that bill are important provisions for protecting children, including a provision to stop abusers taking children out of school, a unique identifier to ensure the whereabouts of all children are known. What did the Leader of the Opposition do? She instructed all of them to vote against those measures.
He didn't even bother voting on that bill, Mr. Speaker. And he talks about safeguarding measures. That's not what the issue is. It's about the reforms that he is changing. We have an example of where these reforms were not introduced. Wales, which has been under Labour control for 2 decades. Welsh educational outcomes have tumbled down international league tables. Poor children in England now do better than wealthier children in Wales. This bill denies children the guarantee that their failing schools will be turned into a better academy. It is an attack on excellence, it is an attack on higher standards, it is an attack on aspiration. This bill is the worst of socialism, Mr. Speaker, and isn't it deprived children in England who will pay the price?
Mr. Speaker, as I say, we introduced academies. We're committed to them. We're driving standards up. But this bill is important because it also sets up breakfast clubs for the very children that she claims to champion. It limits the expense of school uniform and it puts in place vital protections for children. She has to answer the question, why did she instruct all of them to vote against child protection measures?
Okay, Ava, Badenoch pressing Keir Starmer about education this week.
Child and Schools Bill that went past its second reading last week. The Tories voted against it, if you remember, because they said there wasn't enough provision in it for post-grooming gang scandal. Whereas Keir Starmer argued that actually it would be a great way to prevent child abuse. There was a little argument over that. Within this bill, there is a clause about academies and schools. Academies are going to be on the same regulations as all other state schools, which means that they won't be able to make bold, expensive hires. They also won't be able to hire unqualified teachers. I spoke to the NEU about this actually before we came on.
Here we go.
Hello.
Because
Journalism. I love Ava. I love her journalism.
My favourite thing about this is that I've actually got some bullet points from this person because I asked a couple of questions and then I said, can you talk to me like I'm 5?
Nice. Well, I suppose as a teacher, they're used to doing that.
Yes. So academies currently have the freedom to do what they want. They can employ unqualified teachers, pay them what they want, all in the name of freedom. So that means that they can hire someone on, say, a 500k salary. They can also hire an unqualified teacher on less than a normal teacher's salary. And one of the schools that Kemi Badenoch referenced during this was the Harris Academy. And it was explained to me that at Harris, they have a CEO who is on £500,000, but they bring in teachers from Jamaica who they keep on an unqualified rate. So that's how they balance the books of their budget.
That sounds bleak.
And this bill will essentially eradicate that.
The argument Badenoch uses is, well, according to this bill, an Olympian couldn't teach PE. And you're like, well, they wouldn't necessarily be that good at teaching PE. Like being good at a sport, like you're demeaning the.
I think you could have picked another example, babe.
What? Being an Olympian doesn't make you a good teacher.
Yeah, no.
Being an Olympian does not, like, GCSE PE is an academic subject. Just because you are a good swimmer, like to an unbelievable standard, it doesn't mean you're qualified to be a teacher.
I do take your point, but I think I kind of side with Badenoch on this. To be quite honest with you, like, you're right. Obviously, teaching is a profession, teaching is a skill, and it's slightly ridiculous to think that you can just go into like that professional environment without the necessary qualifications. But equally, do we not think there might be some value, for example, for the Harris Academy in being like, oh yeah, head of the swimming program this year, Michael Phelps?
Yes, but that's not what's happening. Theoretically, but they're not being like for. Do
you know what I mean? Like a former cabinet minister goes to a sixth form college and teaches them politics.
Yes, but they're not doing that. But that's not what's happening.
That
isn't what's happening.
What's actually happening?
That's true.
There's a really good argument for bringing in people who are like incredible in their profession, and they obviously would want a higher salary because, you know, if you just work as a normal teacher, why the hell should you have a good salary? You know, but. What the point is here is that because academies have CEOs, you can pay them a ridiculous amount, and then instead of hiring an actual qualified teacher, you bring in someone maybe on 20 grand.
Yeah.
Who'll just sort of fill the gaps, and that is, some would argue that's not very beneficial for the pupils if you've got a very good CEO and not a very good teacher in the classroom.
It's good for the University of Life. You know what I mean? Vibes.
Yeah.
It's big brain thinking.
School of Hard Knocks, this one. I guess, does it not just depend on, you know, on the results at the end of the day?
I guess it does.
If you've got a CEO on 500k, but everyone's getting A stars.
Well, that's why she pointed towards the Michaela Academy. You know, the one that
it's the Matt Goodwin brain.
the one that Matt Goodwin loves in West London.
I'm not familiar with this.
You know who you are? It's Catherine Burblesing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know the world's strictest head teacher. She hits the children. She doesn't. She doesn't. I think if you're like the meanest head teacher, you are hitting the children. I think that's not like a claim she aspire to. I'm not saying she does. I literally just said she didn't do that.
Oh, right.
If you have the title,
you know that she doesn't.
The person who's been like given the title, the world's like meanest head teacher, is committing violence against them.
It's like a Bonnie Blue opener, isn't it, or something like that? Oh, I came up with a great Bonnie Blue concept. If
Okay.
any of the listeners want to get this to her.
She listens.
Ahead of the next election, She sleeps with a man in every constituency to get men at the ballot box,
Oh my God.
to get young men voting.
Bring your polling card.
You bring your polling card,
Bring your
and
poll.
you can go, put an X in the box, and then put your dick in her box.
What if an MP is the person doing
Was there not? There was someone. There was an Italian woman who was doing blowies for something, for some kind of referendum.
Maloney with Javier Milei.
shit?
No, there was.
Maloney on the free
That
trade
was a
agreement.
trade. That was a summit, Ollie.
Yeah, that was Davos. Oh, you meant literal dick sucking. I thought you meant
No,
they were
no.
just like wanking each other off.
No,
like,
no.
Brilliant point, Milei.
I will find the article. I was very. Why is that?
Who's FaceTime you?
So I was googling Italian woman.
For listeners who
blowjobs
can't see
voting.
it. Yeah, I was.
And then if you just type Italian woman into Google, the AI suggestion is Italian women : all you need to know about the ladies in Italy.
Can you tell us?
Before you start dating Italian girls, you should know 3 things.
They are insatiable.
They have a rapacious appetite for love. What other 3 things? What? Sorry, it's low. I need to find.
I am happy to wait.
Yeah, we'll keep.
I'm very curious.
It's just spamming me, cam girls now. Okay. Things to see and do in Italy.
It's
No.
spamming me, cam girls. You won't get me. You will not get me.
The personality of an Italian girl, besides being gorgeous, these women are known for being passionate in bed. You were right, Ed. If you're into ladies who can be wild in bed, then Italian women should be the ones to consider. But that's not all you can discover about them. Here are other interesting things to know about them. Great cooks. Food is taken seriously. So many Italian women are great cooks. The most popular dishes to try are Italian pizza, pasta, and more. What website is this? Ladies of La Famiglia. Family is really important for every lady in Italy. It's not surprising that living with their families is common among Italian girls. They're fans of soccer. This is the most important and popular sport in Italy. Ladies are crazy about the Italian league, popular for its teams like Juventus, Milan, Roma and Inter. They're fans of coffee and wine. To try the best coffee and wine in Europe, you better visit this country. Ladies here know how to prepare a good cappuccino and buy a good bottle of wine.
But not after 11 a.m, of course.
No, absolutely not.
Obsession with fashion, you better visit Milan, which is the capital of fashion in Italy. You'll see how obsessed Italian women are with their fashion.
But importantly, not the capital for food.
What is?
You will have anywhere in the south. You'll eat like the
forgot
worst
you're
pasta
Italian.
in Milan.
Where? I want to find out the 3 things that we had to know.
I think you have to condense them from those 3. Well, number 1,
These-
insatiable.
These are Adam Ferguson. Sorry, the website's called adamfergusonphoto.com, so anyone can
Who's
check it out.
Adam
I have
Ferguson?
no idea. I don't know what this is. It was just suggested to me. The 3 most common Italian women stereotypes. They're all from mafia families. They're drunks,
Oh.
and they're always late.
Can I just say there's actually not been one single lie in that? It's literally
Tick, tick, tick. See, when I was going to the Dominican Republic, like, what was this, 8 years ago, we were in a big group of my, like, we were going from America with my study abroad friends, and there was maybe, like, 9 girls in the group. And at passport control, the Dominican guy took each girl's passport, looked at the photo, went, beautiful. But for 9 girls in a row. So they each heard the other 8. You know, well, that's not... Do you think it's going to work for all of them? Do you think eventually they're going to be like, okay, Domingo, come on in?
But it's all about, Domingo, the border officer at the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. That's not wrong, is it? Mario. Javier.
It was a model who offered blowjobs for votes in an election, and then she tried to become an MP, Paola Saulino.
How many votes did you get?
Oh, she was recently banned from Instagram.
No.
For what?
I think for the
blowjob
blowjob thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, we can't.
This was
say-
2016 though. Look, it's a free speech haven now. I think.
Meta are going to let you get your cat out on the grid. Is that right?
When
What?
you said this yesterday. When did you start saying cat?
Ava said something foul.
She said cat in because
No,
I said you shouldn't say that. Yeah.
Ava's
Do you
language.
want to? No, I don't think we should repeat it.
Well, I can just give you the context of what happened, which was I said my most vehement defender on Twitter is a woman's porn account. she will literally be like on under every single post defending me left, right, and centre, and then you go onto her page and she had her cat out.
You didn't say cat.
What did I say?
See, this is interesting because I use the cunt word
The counselor.
as like a term of endearment.
Uh-huh.
I call my friends it. I use it quite regularly. But when you used it in its literal...
Like anatomically?
Yes.
Yeah.
It made me very uncomfortable.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I asked him, what would you like me to have said instead?
And then you said cat, and I said that's worse.
What about Quim?
Because what was it? Her box? What do you want me to say?
Front
like,
bottom.
Her, her labia?
Rat.
Her labia's licking the lens. What do you want me to say?
This is unhinged.
Did you ever see that film Teeth?
Yeah.
I know about it though. I've never
Iconic.
seen it.
Yeah.
Do you think we should do some PMQs?
Oh, I think we should probably have some Ed
No.
Davey now, yeah. Why, have you got more synonyms for vagina?
Fanny.
No, because it's not vagina. That's the point.
Right.
What?
It's vulva.
Well, because she's not doing a cervical exam, is she? Like, she's just showing you the
She's showing you.
front.
I like that. I like the front. The front.
Front bottom.
The opening. Cave entrance. What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Hey,
I'm an Italian lady.
I'm Domingo, eh?
I'm always late. Wanna see my rat? I'm so glad you came here on your sex tourist visit. I'm an insatiable Italian lady.
You going to do some Ed Davey?
done.
We'll do, okay.
Maybe I'll do a David in character as this lady.
I still don't think the Prime Minister's making social care reform the priority that it needs. It's urgent. And so I'm going to keep coming back to this and holding to account. But, Mr. Speaker, turning now to the United States, can the Prime Minister guarantee that he will not sell out Britain's fantastic farmers to Donald Trump in a trade deal that undermines our high food and animal welfare standards in the way that the Conservatives sold them out in the Australia and New Zealand deals?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we will work with the US, we will work with other countries, but we will never lower our standards.
Ed Davey asking for assurances there that the government isn't going to sell out British farmers.
So he was talking about a trade deal with America. Trump was obviously expected to put in these import tariffs. Keir Starmer has sent Peter Mandelson over there as ambassador to smooth over relations, and then hopefully Keir Starmer and David Lammy will eventually be able to secure a US-UK trade deal that the Conservatives always wanted but never quite managed. And that would be a good get-around to the US market, which apparently is going to be walls up. Gulf of America, big moat around the US. Zero entry.
Tariffs.
Ed Davey is talking about British farmers, specifically meat, because the exchange is with America is always the same. It's, hi, we'd like to sell like financial products to the US, and then the US say things like, take our filthy meat. And we go, you keep injecting it with stuff, and we don't want it. Incredibly, I could actually be talking still about the last segment, couldn't I?
You could be.
Yeah.
Take my filthy meat.
Did I read something that they might reject Mandelson?
Can they do that?
I think they can. I think you can banish an ambassador. It feels quite Skyrim-y, but I think if you don't
Skyrunning.
Come on.
I don't know if that's part of the job role anymore.
It feels quite like a medieval quest where
Oh.
essentially, yes, you'd be into this. If the ambassador displeases the
king,
the head of state,
Uh-huh.
they can say no, thank you. You're being returned. Send us somebody else. I think that's true.
Well, who would he want instead?
Nigel. Obviously, because he loves him.
Yeah, but that's not possible, is
No,
it?
I know.
He's an MP.
I know.
It's a non-political role.
Would Nigel surrender his Clacton seat to be ambassador?
For the Labour government?
Technically an apolitical role. Should
we ring him?
Yeah.
I want it to be you that texts him, because I want the last text to be about Sydney Sweeney.
He has auto-deleting messages on.
Nice.
Oh, you WhatsApp him?
Good info sec. Well, you WhatsApped him about Sydney Sweeney, didn't you?
I did.
Incoming president still minded to reject Lord Mandelson's credentials as the UK ambassador for the US, with reports of splits in Downing Street over the appointment.
There you go.
As reports The Independent.
Look, this.
Gosh, there's a possibility that they approve it conditionally. There would be a very short leash. I wonder what that is. Is that because Mandelson is connected to the Labour government? Because it's
I'd say
and it's
so.
Lammy and Khan who've put on record that they don't like Trump.
I think they're quite anti the Labour Party, aren't they? I mean, Elon Musk obviously explicitly anti-Labour Party. Starmer not being invited to the inauguration, but Patel, fucking Suella Braverman. Figures from
They weren't in the inauguration.
no, but sorry, they were there. Whereas you look at there are leaders right in attendance. Millet, Maloney, world leaders are there. Starmer's not.
So what you think that Johnson? Because Johnson was always tipped for that job.
Yeah,
Obviously not under a Starmer government, but he was always tipped for that.
yeah.
And he's a US
Citizen.
born. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? Yeah. I wonder if can you still be the ambassador?
I guess so.
What if you're US born?
I know nothing about ambassadorial roles. I'm going to make this clear. I'm spitballing heavily
Do
here.
you know who does actually know a lot about it? And it's a shame he's not here. Is Sean.
Really?
Sean is like all over
He's also
embassies and that sort
He's
of thing.
always at the Irish embassy.
The entire time we were there, he said about 50 times how much he wanted to work there.
Right.
At the Irish
Yeah.
embassy. Well, that's an odd thing to say to his employer.
I thought that.
I'd really like to work at this other
He was
place.
actually he was openly courting for jobs in front of me, and I was
so
like,
funny.
he's great. Like,
Can't speak highly enough of Sean. Yeah, to take it back to what Ed Davey was saying, I think we've spoken about it before, but you can't. You are undercutting British farmers if you impose these really high welfare standards on them and the way that, for example, they raise livestock. If you then just give carte blanche to different countries to export their meat products to us that don't have those same standards because it's much cheaper, it's like catch-22. You're legally mandating that the farmers have to provide all these things for their cows, and then if you're, for example, accepting like American beef, which has a far lower welfare standard, it undercuts them and they're fucked. You know,
well, and which is what's already happening with fruit and veg for farmers.
all sorts. Yeah,
Yeah, because you can import a South African berry and it'll still have been cheaper
I
to
think
get to the supermarket.
Aussie beef as well. Yeah,
Aussie beef.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not big into the cow, but can you tell if it's a British Scottish, like if it's a Scottish cow?
You can taste
Compared
different
to
qualities of meat. You can definitely like cheap meat taste worse.
See,
But
again, this could be like our earlier conversation.
You familiar with cheap meat?
cheap meat, yeah, I go Aldi, Lidl. It doesn't taste as nice.
I've had a pack of little sausages. Not good.
But I think something like sausages. Sausages are kind of gristle anyway.
Yeah, but you
like
buy
like a-
posh ones. You
Like a
know,
lean
This is a
cut
man of the butchers,
steak.
though.
I love meat.
I love meat as well.
I like cheap meat. I like expensive meat.
Yeah,
I like all meat.
I like chlorinated chicken. I like hormony cows. I like fake.
You
beef.
like hormone cows?
I think you said hormony cows.
I think you did say that,
I
didn't
did
you?
say hormony cows.
Could be interpreted as a misogynistic slur.
Cows that are
Don't let my wife listen to this.
cows that are.
Because
on
I
the
married
timeline.
one.
And I'm eating her tonight.
Oh, not the hormony cow rat.
It's quite rare that the PMQs episode is like lurid,
Yeah, quite like
but
it.
we've managed it this week.
It's a return to form.
In our defence, it was a very boring Prime Minister's questions.
We have to
we had to
make
do
it interesting.
something.
You have to make
know
it
what?
sexy.
Do you know what I described it as in the YouTube title that we published?
What?
Tempestuous.
You did not.
I did.
Tempestuous.
Yeah.
I went for, this was under Ed's, wrong, by the way. I think I should have gone for my one because all of the comments are now, that was an oversell.
Well, they're watching it.
Where is it? I said, I can't remember. Did I send it to you or not? Oh, yeah. Kemi Badenoch flops again at PMQs. Pretty accurate
Yeah, it is.
description. Ed was like, no.
I
Keir
speak-
Starmer embarrasses Kemi Badenoch.
I said Kemi Badenoch, no one would watch the Kemi Badenoch flops. I think
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
how
no,
less
by the way, you were like
attractive.
totally correct.
Yeah.
But now we just have to face the embarrassment of people clicking on it and going, liars.
Oh well, they watched it.
Did somebody say that Badenoch did well?
Yes, a guy from Politico Europe.
But it is like I
Or
think
did
it,
better than usual?
I think it was
So
her
it was
best
her
one.
best, is what he said.
It was better than she usually is. Just her, it's just still so bad. Like, I just don't think she doesn't have her. Nothing she says there is going to drive the news agenda at all. I don't even really know who that's for.
I think she'll grow into it. I think she'll get better.
What could
Do you
she
think
have
so?
done for
Yeah,
today?
give her some
do you
time.
think?
It's been like 6 months.
Surely not.
The election was in.
No, brother. No.
No, you're right.
It was around the same time as the American
It was
election.
November. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
so
sorry.
tops-
I will
tops
cut,
3 months.
I will cut her some slack. I will cut her some.
But at 6 months, I agree.
Yeah.
You got to be dropping bangers on your baby mums at that point.
What would you have advised her to go on?
Musk, probably, I guess.
I would have advised her to go on Trump and Labour's relationship. And are you about to sever one of the most important relationships in geopolitics?
I don't know if that. It's not like the UK British public likes Trump.
No, but then if you are the leader of the opposition and you want to catch someone out, you've either got to get Keir Starmer being like, I love Trump.
Right.
Or, do you know what? We don't care if he said the X, Y, and Z. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a real catch.
I think it's difficult territory for him. I mean, I presume he would just say, we value our special relationship with America or whatever, and we'll work with whoever's in the White House. But
You would have just got in and been like, your foreign secretary described the new president of the United States as a tyrant.
David Lammy has said some very strong things about Donald Trump in the past. Like, very strong.
Yeah, but Trump has said some pretty strong things himself.
Yeah, true.
It's not like it was unprompted.
Yeah, I guess the thing is though is that because Trump is so thin-skinned that I don't think I've heard. I think Emily Thornberry said something similar about Lammy's remarks and was like, Trump said some pretty ugly stuff. It's the cut and thrust in politics, yada yada yada. But it's like, but you are talking about like the most egomaniacal, thin-skinned, petty man who says some horrific things about Mexicans and others.
Yeah,
doesn't like it when the shoe's on the other foot.
we should remember that the climate for these comments were that children were actually in cages at that point on the Mexican border. There is that. At that point, you would go, look,
Maybe not.
bit tyrannical.
Yeah,
Maybe not that.
Tyrannical.
and a possible return to that imminently as well. Mass immigration raids, separation of families.
None of you watched the video that I put in Slack the other day, and that's fine. I'm used to being ignored. Sorry, such is not true. Sorry, I just fancied it. Fancied a little bit.
Go ahead.
Trump going through this picture book he has of himself and the royal family.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, there she is, Elizabeth. Oh, we had the relationship we had. Oh, beautiful woman, beautiful family. Here's Prince Charles, now the king, of course. Fantastic. And he's not very well, but he's getting better. He's getting better. I was actually like really touched by it because it was like a child going through a picture book. Like a child going through like a storytelling.
Had he ripped out the Andrew one? Was it just like torn to the remains of torn pages?
No, it was just really, he couldn't get the pages apart.
Oh,
Signed by Epstein.
I think he loves the royal family, and he also loves Shinzo Abe, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah.
He loves Shinzo Abe?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He talks a lot about their friendship and how he misses him.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Like post assassination,
Is he
he's
a
like
Mooney?
he's saddened and misses Shinzo. Yeah.
Should we have? Should we give the Greens their annual slot on this programme?
Amen.
One clip only.
Fire it up.
Roll it.
Expanding London's airports and building a third runway at Heathrow would be incredibly irresponsible in the midst of a climate emergency, flying in the face of the Climate Change Committee's advice. The Prime Minister clearly knows this because he and 7 Cabinet colleagues voted against a third runway at Heathrow in 2018. So can the Prime Minister confirm what is his position now?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to comment on speculation. He knows that we are, as a government, we are committed to growth, we're committed to the aviation sector and to our climate obligations. But I'm not going to take lectures from those who talk about climate change but oppose vital renewable infrastructure in their own constituency.
Adrian Ramsey, co-leader of the Green Party, infamously opposed 100 miles of wind pylons in his Suffolk constituency because he's a big old NIMBY. And on that track, he's now opposing a third runway at Heathrow, saying that it would be disastrous to the country's net zero or climate ambitions. My comment on this is, on Monday's podcast, we were talking about how analog politics can be, and it's a bit behind the curve. We actually have some of the most sustainable fuel now in aviation, right? Flying planes soon actually not going to be anywhere near as much of a problem as they were 2 decades before. It's kind of a bit minimal. The big problem that we've got are these data centers that are popping up everywhere, and the AI that Starmer actually just last week gave a speech on that we're going to go full throttle into. That is the climate catastrophe. It's so old-fashioned for the Green Party to be like, third runway, bad. They should be up there like, hi, data centers. How are you going to offset this carbon?
Interesting. Yeah, Starmer also used to oppose it for the same reasons, I think.
Data or runway?
No, sorry, the third runway at Heathrow.
Yeah. But, it's also noise pollution, why a lot of them oppose it.
And Sadiq Khan opposes it, and Ed Miliband opposes it as well. So it's going to cause a split within the Labour government.
I wonder if they're going to put a second runway in at City. That is the best airport in the country, and
City,
I will.
yeah.
It's class. Yeah.
I'll die on that hill.
It is really good. I spoke to Adrian Ramsey's co-leader yesterday, actually.
You did
about the analog.
She was
politics
sat.
of the Green Party.
She was sat actually in that chair, Ava.
She was. You could put on a green suit and pretend to be Carla Denyer.
I could never do as well as her on University Challenge. She was
Was she
excellent.
especially good?
She was very good on University
Really?
Challenge. Yeah.
Where did she go to university?
Bristol.
That makes sense.
Oh no, excuse me. That is such a lie. I love lying. Durham.
That makes less sense to me.
I guess people go to universities all over the country, don't they? I watched that episode of University Challenge.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
It was good. They massacred them. It was like a whitewash, wasn't it?
Durham.
They beasted them at the end. They kind of really came up the.
I think it was Durham versus Bristol, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Was that the final?
I can't remember. It was, like in the Gooch of the year when you're just kind of, you don't know what day it is. You stick the TV on.
Yeah, and there's telly on.
And Carla Denyer is on University Challenge. Yeah.
Carla Denyer?
I had to watch it because I put it on because I just watched Midsummer and I was home alone and I got really frightened.
I asked Carla Denyer what they could learn from the Reform Party, because on this very channel, rival podcaster Lewis Goodall made the point that compared to the Reform Party, the Green Party are too nice. Reform attach themselves to any issue that comes up. You get a press release saying Nigel Farage says this. They're asking questions like, what was it? Nigel Farage was going to name someone.
He named the Chinese spy, didn't he?
That was it. And it's like,
Parliament.
it's not Nigel Farage's responsibility by any means, but he's going out of his way to make the news agenda. The Green Party aren't doing that, and I think they don't really grasp what it is that they need to learn. As in, I asked Carla, I was like, do you think there's stuff to learn from Reform? And she said, well, I could do more front-facing videos, for instance. I've done one this week. I was like, you've done one? One front-facing video, and that's your digital communications.
But also that being the strategy, being like, well, the only reason why we're not taking off the way Reform have is because I'm not doing enough front-facing videos.
but also, and then she said as well, like, well, I'm not going to do dog whistle racism, and like, well, no one's suggesting you do dog whistle racism. Like, you can take some lessons from the comm strategy of a party that's doing a lot better than you.
You know something about Reform? When you want to meet them somewhere, they never ask for a cab. And that's all I'm going to say.
Spicy. I think you can look at Reform and the way that they don't feel the weight of responsibility that His Majesty's opposition does, in that they, the things they suggest have to be credible or thought through or fully costed. No, I'm being glib, but it's a serious point, which is that essentially you have 4 MPs. You basically have a lot of license to just go out and cause a fuss, cause
100%.
chaos, grab headlines, be funny, be subversive. Like, these are all things that are available to you, because realistically, no one's expecting the Greens to form the next government, right? So they could be out there being funny, being a little bit roguish, shall we say?
They're not a roguish bunch.
No,
They're not. Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey, they're not rogues.
They're not disruptors.
They're not disruptors. They're also there's a humorlessness to the Green Party, but they would say politics is serious, and it is serious.
They might call it an earnestness.
An earnestness, but like they never seem to be having fun, which you could be.
What's funny about climate change, Ed?
well, exactly. They're too serious.
You can grow wine in England. That's funny.
They can what? They
Grow
can
wine in England.
Yeah, there's
grow
some
wine in England.
interesting stuff happening with the vineyards in Kent.
In Kent, yeah.
Well-trodden ground on this podcast.
Absolutely. Trump meeting former Japanese Prime Minister was asked about his message to Japan, and Trump said the following: "It's a great country and you're doing very well. Well, Shinzo was a great friend of mine. He was truly a great man and somebody that we all respected. I miss him greatly, but we really admire the people of Japan."
Wow.
There is an element of Trump that I think isn't picked up on when we talk about him being thin-skinned or whatever, that he's actually just very excited to know people. He's got like the kind of ultimate social climber thing about him, where he actually just like the way that he, even when he greeted Keir Starmer and David Lammy and they had that lunch or whatever, and they apparently had a really good time, he might denigrate the office, but he is still very excited by the office. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like Japan, he's just like, wow. He's just amazed. He's a fan.
There's a lot of memes as well of him being like looking to the sky, being like, "How am I doing, Shinzo?" And like Shinzo is there like, as the sun, being like, "You're doing great, buddy." It's amusing. I think Trump also has a habit when he meets people like that of just calling up like other world leaders. So Starmer and Lammy will be for lunch, and then he'll just be like, "Let's give Macron a call and see if he has anything to say about this." Obviously, I don't know if any of that happened whilst they were together, but
Being proactive.
I think he just likes fucking with people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you assume Starmer and Lammy, they've probably been briefed about how to handle this sort of bilat, and then Trump is just like immediately like, let's get Putin in. Let's see what he thinks.
What does Modi think?
Yeah, exactly. And you could obviously destabilize and throw off the people you're talking with.
You said some very interesting things about Kashmir there, Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Let's see if the press. Let's see what Modi thinks about this.
One more clip and we'll call it quits.
Should we do the
Mes amigos?
I think should we do the fun one?
Do you want to do a fun one?
What's wrong with the economy?
That's not the fun one.
Let's do both. Okay. Economy first.
What's the fun one?
The Keir Starmer slagging off Liz Truss.
That's still the economy. We can do that.
Amen. Let's go. Roll the clip.
When it comes to his budget, which raised taxes, raised borrowing and raised public spending as a strategy for economic growth, when is the Prime Minister going to accept the words of the Labour Prime Minister in the 1970s who explained to a Labour conference that in all candour that option no longer exists, and that the only way to obtain sustained economic growth will be by cutting taxes and cutting regulation?
Prime Minister. Well, he must have missed recent reports. The ONS has just said that we've got the highest investment for 19 years. The PwC have just said that this is the second best place to invest in the world. The IMF have just upgraded growth, now saying we're predicted to be the fastest growing major European economy. Wages are up and inflation is down. That's after just 6 months.
Right, so I've just come out of an interview with Gary Stevenson. So
you're well versed.
I'm pepped up about the economy.
Yeah.
I'm pepped up about wealth inequality. And
Fingerless gloves on.
Yeah, I'm ready
Beanie
to
askew.
I'm ready to fucking box Bernard Jenkin for suggesting that we should cut taxes and deregulate. You idiot.
Why?
Because I'm not sure that if you wanted to address wealth inequality, that cutting taxes might be the best way of achieving it. I suspect it might actually be possibly some more taxation, not less.
What if you cut taxes for the workers?
You could cut taxes for the workers and then raise taxes for the wealthy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so that...
a progressive taxation system.
Did you put that to Gary Stevenson?
He actually was very keen. He emphasised to me repeatedly that he does not support taxes on working people. Yeah. It was very Starmer-ish, actually. Of him.
Really?
Yeah, no, he obviously, he doesn't support, to be clear, he's not a Starmer or Reeves fanboy, but no, he's more for, taxing assets rather than incomes.
Do you remember when we were in, Discourse Inferno about what do they mean by working people? It's like, you know exactly what they mean. And they're like, what, CEO doesn't work? No, they don't, all right? No, they don't. Okay? Have we all got it clear now?
Working people have hard jobs.
Yeah.
Especially that CEO at the Harris Academy, stealing a living.
What do the CEO of a school does?
That's not even... I actually don't even think that it was... They're like head teachers.
No, it's like a big organisation, the Harris Academy,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
big. There's a lot going on there.
You need a chief exec.
They have pretty good results.
You'd
as
pay him
well.
$500,000, I think.
Yeah. No, but I don't think that we should be. I hate when we're like, that is too much for that role. I'm like, no. We should be aspirational, and that should be the right. I'm talking about the CEOs who are on like.
Millies.
Yeah, like the bonus itself is in the tens of millions. You know.
Yeah, big money.
Oh, anyway, if you're listening to this and you're looking for something else to watch after, go and watch Helena Dollimore, Labour MP, schooling water bosses yesterday. That is on the PoliticsJOE YouTube.
Starmer, go and watch that video. Starmer said the ONS, PwC, and the IMF disagree.
Yeah,
Mr.
shall I tell you?
Jenkin.
Would you like me to tell you how exactly they disagreed?
Yeah.
Didn't put this in the notes. Kept this for myself.
Do you know what?
Selfish.
Sorry.
It does do that.
Give me your talking points, Ava Santino. I want them.
Can I call out Laura? Laura does that. If Laura's like Laura does all the notes for the podcast and makes special notes for her.
Yeah,
she
I love
doesn't
that.
share.
She's entitled to do that.
Yeah,
You want them.
but then you're like, well, I could have talked about this as well.
I just. Sorry, I wrote it by hand and I just didn't put it in the notes because I had about 5 minutes to do it.
Show me your handwriting.
This is not my best. That was scrap. This is when we're in normal. Yeah, this is
Very uniform. It's neat.
Well,
I thought you'd be
I
traitors
am.
in-
A
I was.
fascist.
Oh.
But she's long dead in the traitors in the office. So.
Who's long dead?
Were you dead when
You've been dead for a
the
while.
Oh, the
handwriting thing?
traitors killed me. Yeah,
We were doing traitors in the office.
I think you killed me.
I didn't kill you. I'm a faithful.
Anyway,
Ollie's a revived faithful.
I'm
So
back
we
in the
know.
game, yeah, as of today.
why are you back in the game?
They revived me
Him and Joel.
because they.
The traitors revived you.
No.
No, Lucy.
Our version of Claudia revived me and Joel. I mean,
But I
people
came
listening
up-
to this are going to be like, what is going
But
on?
I came up with this concept and I didn't even get revived.
Yeah, and basically because
I pitched this in the tower in the pub.
she's done it because the faithful are yet to identify a traitor.
We were down to 4 out of 8 people being traitors.
4 faithful, 4 traitors. Lucy went. 2 people are back in the game, and me and Joel, I think, as the first people to be kicked out, were brought back.
But we know that you're faithfuls.
She said they could be faithful or traitors,
So we don't
This
know
is
that.
exactly the concept I pitched to her.
hoping you'd get back in the game.
When I get back in that office,
Yeah,
I'm
there's gonna
going
be hell to
straight
pay.
over to that. No, actually, I can't because I'm waiting on a lot of assets from her, so I don't know what to do.
Don't want to piss her off.
Sorry, Lucy is our head of design.
Yeah,
to be
she's
clear.
excellent. And I've run an excellent game. What?
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Yeah, really good
I'm
fun.
absolutely fuming at that.
Ava also tweeted that I was being murdered on the first day.
We nearly did get
You
rid of
nearly were
I nearly
out.
did, but you
And also,
gone. You went
importantly,
first.
the traitors.
You went first.
If I just say the traitors got rid of me, you were nearly voted out by your peers.
Because you ran a campaign against me.
Yeah, but it was nearly successful.
It's good. Yeah, I
you
was
want
the
to know
first
about
person to be. Yes, I do want to. But yeah, I don't know why we're talking about this. No one cares about this. This is a tough listen. Congratulations if you're still here. Ava,
Big
please.
kiss to you.
So, in response to Badenoch Jenkin, Keir said the ONS says that this is the highest investment in 19 years. PwC said it's the second. Oh, Britain, by the way, just to be clear, Britain is seeing its highest investment in 19 years. PwC says Britain is the second place best to invest currently, and the IMF upgraded growth. Britain is now the fastest growing European economy. That's obviously because the IMF said that the US is currently the fastest growing economy. If you remember from Monday when I said the IMF had really phoned it in.
Have they been in touch?
I watching the podcast back. I was really laughing. It was really funny.
That they phoned it in.
No, when you were like they phoned it in, it made me laugh. It was a good gag, and it's true as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we think Reeves is going to keep her job then?
Ooh, that's a fun one. The media campaign's kind of started, hasn't it? There's briefing and there's
I think it's come to a halt.
yeah.
But when there was some good economic news, everyone kind of went, ooh.
They're not going to get her.
Do you think so? Do
Yeah.
you think she's safe?
She is safe.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid
She's
of the
way
Chancellor.
too close with Andrew Bailey.
And also
You'd be an
Starmer.
idiot to get rid of her.
As in Starmer and her as a team.
Yeah, they are very close.
Starmernomics is Reevesonomics.
Yeah. Would Pat McFadden raise his eyebrow?
Is McFaddenomics? Is Jonesonomics? Streetingnomics?
Whose nomics do you want?
Marx's?
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I just want everyone to know how much I love and respect Karl Marx.
I visit his grave most days, actually.
Oh,
Can we have the fun clip?
Yes, let's have the fun clip, yeah.
There are major issues.
Prime Minister. Mr. Philp, I expect better from the front bench. And I'm sure you're going to show better, Prime Minister.
I think he was Liz Truss's right-hand man, so we wouldn't expect anything else.
Got her. Got him. That was good, wasn't it? Burn.
Oh,
How fun.
slap down. Keir Starmer wrecks Chris Philp.
Chris Philp's having a terrible run of L's recently. It's not... I don't have much sympathy for Chris Philp, but just out of basic human decency, I'd like to see him hold a dub. I'd like to see him do well out of something.
A dub? Chris Philp?
Yeah, like a W. Yeah, a win.
Oh, what a strange man he is. Do you ever watch him sitting on the bench when he's not speaking?
Yes.
Very odd man.
Yeah, strange sort of expressions and behaviour. I find him to be quite handsome.
Striking, I would say. In a way, like a model was handsome, but like not like
So handsome.
traditionally. Not a traditionally handsome model.
Those people who are famously paid because they look so nice.
No, I don't consider them attractive at all, actually. No, but you know like an interesting looking model. You know,
I
like one
wouldn't
who's, like,
ever
far too
dare to
skinny.
comment on someone's looks. I really am here for the substance.
You did like 5 minutes of synonyms for fanny earlier.
Yeah? What?
You're like making appeals to like virtuous. Don't objectify Chris Philp.
Yeah?
No one was objectifying the fanny, to be fair.
Because how would you... What do you mean, objectifying the fanny? That was absolutely awful, what you just said. Why would you ever say something like that?
I like it as almost like a platonic form, as an abstract.
The fanny.
Yeah.
Have you ever used that in in context?
Oh, yeah. Let me have a swatch of that.
Fucking hell. Oh.
It's a really good skit. Do you know Karen Dunbar? Was she big down here?
No. Well, she may. I'm sorry, I haven't heard of her. She may have been big down. I don't know.
She did a sketch show. I think maybe it was just on BBC Scotland, and there's a sketch where two wee boys are at an ice cream van that she's working in, and she's like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, can I get a 99 and a swatch of your fanny?" And she goes, and just lifts her scruff, and the wee boys start crying.
That's really funny that the bosses at the BBC were like, "This is going to work for Scotland." This is definitely more like Alba, right? This is going to be BBC Alba. This
In the pitch meeting, can we put this on BBC One? Are you fucking insane?
they were like, okay, this, but it's going to be a woman called Mrs. Brown.
What's swatch?
A look.
Look.
And so, but the little boy asked for it, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was he wearing?
On retelling, it is less funny than I thought it was.
Well, it's no.
See, this is why only Kevin Bridges made it out of there, and Janie Godley.
She didn't make it out of Scotland.
But this is the problem. You can't. A joke needs its context.
Yeah.
If you have to explain it or justify it, it's immediately not funny anymore.
So true. So true.
And if only people had that attitude when watching my episode of Finn versus the Internet.
Yeah, tell them.
Tell them all. I think that's us, guys. Any more?
I think Pornstar University about tonight.
What a touch.
So if you want to go, there was that on the subreddit or on the last podcast? Someone said, when is it coming out? It'll be on joe.co.uk at about 6:30 this evening, I think. Maybe we'll do a special pod about it.
Give it a watch.
Because I could talk about it for 6 hours.
Wow.
I could. It was one of the weirdest days of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd find that weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm just surprised that was the weirdest day of your life.
Well, no, I don't really see people having sex in front of me that often.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
point.
ever, to be honest.
Virgin.
Because I don't go to group sex parties.
What if you do? Would you just shut your eyes slightly?
Ed killing kittens with with a mask on but his eyes shut.
Listening to Chapel Roan. Imagine if you think you've booked the mole rat gig, but that's actually like a killing kittens party.
I should be so lucky. A mole full of rat.
Oh,
Should we
God.
go?
Yeah, I think we're done. I think we're done.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks.
How many of them are still here?
Oh, 3. Comment if you're still here.
God bless you.
Yes.
See you on the next one.
Bye.